Grimm's Fairy Tales. The Blue Light. There was once a soldier who had served the king faithfully for many years. But when peace was proclaimed and the war was over, the king said to the soldier, who had been wounded several times, "Now you can go home. I require your services no longer. I cannot give you further pay, for I only pay those who earn money." The poor soldier did not know how he should live. He tramped homewards and on his way found himself in a great forest. When darkness fell, he saw a light which came from a cottage in which an old witch lived. "Give me a bed and something to eat and drink," he said to her, "otherwise I shall perish." "Ho, ho," she answered, "who would care to feed a deserter for nothing? However, I will have compassion on you and take you in, if you will do as I desire." "What do you desire me to do?" asked the soldier. "To dig up my garden tomorrow." The soldier consented and worked the next day with all his strength. However, he could not get it done by the evening. "I see," said the witch, "that you can't do any more tonight, so I'll keep you another night, and in return you must chop a clump of wood for me into little pieces." The soldier took the whole day over it, and in the evening the witch proposed that he should stay another night. "Tomorrow I have only a very light task for you. Behind my house is an old dried up well into which I have dropped my light, a blue one, which is never extinguished. You shall fetch it for me." The next day the old crony led him to the well and lowered him in a basket. He found the blue light and made a sign to her to draw him up again. She drew him up, but when he reached the edge of the well, she held out her hand to seize the blue light. But he, seeing her evil design, said, "No, I shall not give you the light till I am standing with both feet on the ground." Then the witch lost her temper, let him drop into the well again, and went away. The poor soldier fell without hurting himself to the bottom. The blue light still burned, and what help was that? He saw death staring him in the face. For a while he sat lost in sad reflection. Then he chanced to put his head in his pocket and find his pipe, which was half filled with tobacco. "This will be my last enjoyment," he said, drew it out, lit it with the blue light, and began to smoke. As the smoke rose and floated on the air, a little black man suddenly appeared and said, "Sir, what are your orders?" Why should I order you about?" asked the soldier, astonished. "I must do all," said the little man, "that you desire." "Very well," said the soldier. "Help me out of the well." The little man took his hand and led him through an underground passage, not forgetting to take the blue light too. He showed him on the way the treasures the witch had collected and hidden here, and the soldier helped himself to as much gold as he could carry. When he was above ground, he said to the little man, "Go, please, bind the witch hand and foot and take her before the judge." In a few minutes she flashed by on the back of a wild torn cat, screaming horribly, and the mannequin said, "It is all over. By this time she hangs on the gallows." The little man said, "Sir, I wait further orders." The soldier said, "Just now I have nothing more for you to do. You can go home only if I call you be ready." "It is not necessary to call," explained the little man. "You have only to light your pipe with a blue light, and I shall be beside you at once." And he instantly vanished. The soldier went back to the town. He went to the best inn, bought fine clothes, and ordered a room to be splendidly fitted up for him. When it was ready, he summoned the black mannequin and said, "I served the king faithfully, but he sent me away to starve, and now I wish to be revenged on him. What am I to do?" Said the little fellow. "Go in the night to the palace and bring me the king's daughter to be my maid servant." The little man said, "An easy thing to do, an easy thing for me to do, but a dangerous undertaking for you." On the stroke of midnight, the door sprang open, and the little man brought in the king's daughter. "Ah, there you are," exclaimed the soldier. "Fetch the broom at once and sweep out the room." When she had finished sweeping, he called her to his armchair, struck out his legs, and bade her take off his boots. He then threw them in her face and told her to clean and polish them. She did everything without showing a sign of resistance, silently and with half-closed eyes. At cockcrow, the little black man carried her back to the palace and laid her in a bed. The next morning she went to her father and told him that she had a dream. "I was carried as quickly as a flash of lightning through the streets and brought to a soldier's room. I was obliged to serve him like a common servant, sweep the room and brush his boots. Although it was only a dream, I am as tired as I had already done it." "Perhaps it was more than a dream," said the king. "Take my advice and fill your pockets full of peas. Then make a tiny hole in the pocket, and if you're fetched again, the peas will fall out in the street and show the way." While the king was speaking, the little black man stood by, invisible, and heard all. At night, when he again carried the sleeping princess through the streets, some of the peas, it is true, fell on the ground, on the pavement, but they had no effect, for the cunning little man had beforehand strewn all the streets with peas. The princess had again to drudge till cockcrow like a common servant. The next day the king sent out men, but on a fool's errand, for in every street the poor children were picking up peas and saying, "Last night it must have rained peas." "We must think of another plan," said the king. "Keep on your shoes when you go to bed, and leave one behind at the place you are carried to, and I will have it found." The black mannequin heard, and when he was requested to bring the princess to the soldier that night, he said, "I am fairly baffled this time. If the shoe is found in your room, things may fare badly with you." "Do as I tell you," answered the soldier. So for a third night the princess came and worked like a servant, but before she was carried, she hid one of her shoes under the bed. The following morning the king had the whole town searched for his daughter's shoe. It was found in the soldier's apartment. The soldier himself, who, acting on the entreaties of the little black man, had hurried out of the town gates, was soon overtaken and cast into prison. In the flight, he had forgotten his most priceless property, the blue light and the witch's gold. He only had a few small coins on him. Loaded with chains, he was standing at his prison window when he saw one of the old comrades go by. He tapped on the window pane, and as the man drew near, he said to him, "If you will go to my inn and fetch a small bundle I've left there, I will give you something for your trouble." The comrade ran quickly and brought him the bundle. As soon as the soldier was alone, he kindled his pipe with the blue light, and the little black friend stood beside him. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Go with them calmly, uh, wheresoever they take you, but don't forget the blue light." The next day, the soldiers were tried by the judges. The soldier was tried by the judges, and though he had done nothing wrong, he was condemned to death. When he was brought to the gallows, he besought the king to grant him a last favor. "What sort of favor?" asked the king. "That I may smoke a pipe on the way." "You may smoke 3 pipes, but remember, they won't save your life," retorted the king. The soldier drew out his pipe, lit it with blue light, and before a ring of smoke had floated on the air, the little man with a cudgel in his hand stood before him, saying, "What orders thy master? Strike the false judges to the ground, and do not spare the monarch who has treated me so shamefully," was the command. The small man lashed about with fury and felled everyone round him to the earth. The king grovelled on the ground, and in order to save his life, promised the soldier his kingdom and his daughter. So, with that, end of a tale.